So before we begin, actually, I'm John Ritlin, that is.
The Turbinator.
Thanks for putting up with the scathing rant that I put up about Extreme Rules. I want to clarify one little thing. I liked a good portion of the stuff they did, but that ending was bullshit. And it was complete bullshit because it undermined and undercut everything that Seth had done.
I, on the other hand, got to see Flying Brian Pillman Jr.
How was Without a Cause, Chris?
His mullet was magnificent.
Was it?
It was a sight to behold.
Yes. Thank you. I think I've gotten a lot of the serious rage out of my system. Because it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are less than 4 weeks away from SummerSlam though.
Yes, and they're really kicking off and making sure they book this as soon as they possibly can.
This is the first ever...
Because it's the biggest party of the summer.
Biggest Bacardi of the summer.
Probably.
So, we get the first ever Heyman era Raw where, I mean, Vince is still having the final say, so I don't know how much is really this. We start with Brock and Heyman in the same thing we've heard for years. Enough.
But it only lasted, it was under 15 minutes. It got to the point. It got things addressed. It set up the next, set up the rest of the show and the upcoming feud to SummerSlam. Make sure directly out of the way we know that someone is going to be, we're going to know who's challenging Brock Lesnar for the championship.
Do you think Heyman knows people are tired of him and Brock?
Probably.
Okay. No, I'm just asking.
But he also knows that he can get people to boo him.
Yeah, but that's because they want him to go away.
Sure, but...
if you want Brock to go away, thank you. If you don't...
Okay, whatever.
Whatever, it is what it is.
Whatever floats your goat.
Okay, so here are the participants. It's a top 10, which apparently we're doing the top 10 again. Remember the SmackDown top 10 lasts for like a week? Remember that?
I was writing the other version.
That was what caused the gender rant?
Yes!
Oh, God. So, it's a cross-brand battle royal. The participants were Cesaro, Lashley, Corbin, Braun, Orton, Ray, Big E, Reigns, Rollins, and Zayn. But we'll get to that later. We then have, so much for a new era because we have 15 minutes of a promo. 15 minutes of a promo, and hey, you get to start off with a fresh match, though, and it's a 2 out of 3 falls match with Ricochet and the Usos versus Rude and the Revival.
If everyone has a 2 out of 3 falls match, single fall matches mean nothing.
They dug up Bobby Roode.
Yeah, Bobbert Roode was in the ring.
Bob Roode. By the way, the Revival got pinned immediately.
Yeah, first fall.
And then the Usos got pinned pretty soon after that, and then we went to commercial break.
It was a few minutes before the Usos got pinned, and then the rest of the match took place, which means this could have totally been just a 1 fall match. And they didn't.
Yeah, and you could have just had it where people were... I don't know if it's USA or Vince or who it is that doesn't want wrestling during the commercial breaks, but this isn't helping the product. I don't care who's in charge. This doesn't help your product.
It doesn't. You could have done a lot of things. You could have had a 1 fall match. You could have had, like a round robin kind of thing too. That would have been something interesting and new, where you'd have Ricochet go up against Bobby Roode, you'd have one of the Usos go up against one of the Revival, and so on and so forth. Or that would have been something new.
Or elimination. Just do an elimination match.
Yeah.
Do that. It just...
Well, that turns into essentially a...
Handicap.
Handicap, yeah.
But I do want to say this: they're doing Raw Reunion next week. They're putting,
Hogan's gonna be there.
If the crowd does not boo Hogan, you guys are not real people. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you'll get enough, and maybe the show will too. We'll find out.
Boogeyman's
gonna be there, so it's an instant grade up for me.
Santino, unfortunately, will also be there.
This is a half a grade.
Cornette was right to slap the shit out of him.
Yeah, he was a bit of an idiot.
He's a big idiot. Look, let me say this much. I want to be more positive about stuff that's going on in WWE.
And I'm positive things are going to be negative with the show next week.
Oh, you're talking because of all the old people? Yeah, it's a desperate ploy for ratings. And WWE's they're probably blaming the fans, or Vince is probably blaming the fans, this kind of stuff. Honestly, it's Vince's fault. It's all on Vince. Are some fans unreasonable? Sure. Was I unreasonable? Did I go maybe a bit too far in my Extreme Rules rant? I don't think so necessarily, because as much stuff as I held back, by the way, guys. So...
Yeah, when I got the time, I'm probably going to go back and watch Extreme Rules and kind of see what I think of it.
At the ending, there were a few things that were bullshit. Anyway, Ricochet ends up pinning Rude
in
the third fall. And then we get the club attacking Ricochet in a big old brawl in a phenomenal form. Because I guess apparently Styles beating Ricochet wasn't enough. Hey, let's beat the guy down again. I mean, I know they're heels, but it's like, you beat the guy and won the title.
Yeah.
Why are you attacking Ricochet when you already beat him?
Yeah, Ricochet fights back, however, so he doesn't take it lying down.
Right.
Usos help out.
But the club stands tall.
Yeah.
Well, the club stands tall, and then we get super kicks, and we get to...
So they're not just building AJ Styles, they're not just building Gallows and Anderson, they're building the club.
And it's a desperate ploy to try and get some of that sweet New Japan merch money.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think it's going to work.
Nope.
And that's sad
because they don't have anyone competent working at the WWE shop, apparently. I mean, unless you're, like, top card talent.
I mean...
And even then...
Yeah, they got a lot of shit shirts.
The Graveyard Dogs!
That was really bad. The Viking Raider Experience people beat up 2 jobbers, and they almost dropped some... That was bad.
I had their names for a moment, and it's just... It's gone.
Totally forgot. I hope those guys are okay, because that one landed on his...
Dandelion Bloom in the Wind. The names just escaped my memory.
Blue.
Gross.
So, Drew confronts Cedric. While Cedric is laughing with a bunch of people like the Street Profits and...
Earlier that day!
Why was Drew upset at Cedric when he kicked his head off, in 2 minutes?
Because they were expecting a janitor.
But they beat the guy.
True.
They beat Cedric and made him look like a goof. Haha, we got you. You lost in 2 minutes, Cedric.
It's on. It's such good shit.
Why did I have a feeling you were going to say that at some point? Look, they had Cedric say, well, I never back down from a challenge. I'll fight Drew. Okay. Whatever, we get this match. And Drew's agility was pretty insane. Just that easy spring over the ropes where it's like, what? Drew basically dominated Cedric for a bit. Cedric kept coming back. Cedric would get a victory roll, so to speak. 1, 2, 3.
This is going to lead to a match at SummerSlam between Drew and Cedric. The two of them should get alternating wins. Like, Cedric should get a win on against other opponents. Drew should get wins against other opponents. This way it makes both of them look strong. And that way it's less predictable who's going to win. I think it's going to be Drew who's going to take it at SummerSlam, but they're going to take this opportunity to build Cedric up a bit.
You don't think they're going to have Drew versus Taker based on that clip you saw from Extreme Rules?
They might.
I'm just asking.
That would be too good of an idea for them. I'm not saying it was a good idea.
No. I'm not knocking you. Derb and I talked a lot about a lot of stuff, and it really eased out a lot of my anger. I'm still very passionate about wrestling and always will be. But at this point, if WWE is not going to take things seriously, if they're going to talk down to the fans like they're idiots, then fine. I guess I just have to not care as much. But that's the idiotic commentary. Though there were a few lines. But anyway, Cedric wins. We'll get to that in a bit. We then get a Joe promo, and a Balor promo, and a Reigns promo. And then Joe beats Balor within like a couple minutes.
Yes.
And Samoa Joe is the biggest goddamn loser on the roster that they keep featuring. He can't win the big match.
He is a... what's the best term? He's a MacGuffin.
What?
No, actually, no, not the MacGuffin. He is definitely a storyline tool rather than the story itself.
I'm sure he's happy with what he's doing, but he basically, actually, to me, and I love Samoa Joe, he's just a tool now.
He beat Finn Balor, and this is because it's leading to a different story for Finn Balor, which we'll get into in a moment.
They brawled.
One of the things was Finn Balor being completely frustrated with the loss, and, he, after breaking away from Samoa Joe, attacked him. Joe rolls out, and one by one, the lights go out. John's seen way too many horror movies, and so he can't take a lick of seriousness.
Goddamn stupid.
And as the lights continue to go out, things get a little bit spoopy. And
do they get too spoopy?
Two spoops of ice cream.
Ha!
And the lights don't come back on, they start to flicker, which is a new take, which I appreciate. And as the lights flicker, you see that Bray Wyatt has Finn Balor in the whole Sister Abigail pose. But the problem is that they kept the camera on him for 10 seconds too long on this. Should have been a few brief flashes. Finn Balor should have been out. Bray should have disappeared. But he stood there, holding Finn Balor in one arm. Like, maybe not the best way to produce this, but then again, it's Kevin Dunn. I don't know what I was expecting.
The crowd popped. I mean, whatever. We'll get to the crowd here in a bit about
yeah, they
something.
had some. Whoo!
I'm sorry. I have zero faith that Vince will do right by Bray. I have zero faith. He is not smart enough to see how good this is, or could be.
I think that's why they've given Bray more creative control over this character.
But how long will they allow him to keep that creative control? I agree with you. I'm just asking.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what goes on in Vince's head. I don't think anyone does. I don't even think Vince does.
Such good shit. Why do I keep saying that? I'm sorry. I couldn't take this seriously. It's like
I know you can't.
It's hilarious, and not for the right reasons. This is going to bomb. This will bomb badly.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't. Finn does want some time off apparently though, so I guess that's why he's getting beat. He may be gone by.
It may be the Demon's first loss at SummerSlam.
Bray beat. I don't. They're gonna have to really tread lightly here. I just don't have faith that they're gonna actually try to rebuild Bray, because they've had 5 goddamn chances to do that.
Maybe the 5th time's the charm. John?
Your faith in WWE is admirable.
What are you talking about faith in WWE? I have faith in Bray.
I'm not saying to anyone. I couldn't dig. And then we get Drake and his wife in a restaurant that
Jesus
I don't.
Christ, it's so senior.
Yeah, it is. Drake and his wife in a restaurant thing, and he bribes the people to let him know not to say that he's there.
Yeah.
And in truth,
Slips him $1. And then the guy fucking buys it.
and then tells him where it is. Hey, where's Hornswoggle? I don't like this. It's not funny to me.
Yeah, I found the first part of this kind of enjoyable with how hammy it was.
I give Truth and Drake credit and whatever, but you can't beat people over the head with something and expect them to like it. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're doing here. I don't like it. I'm kind of, angry about 24/7 title because it was an atrocity from the first moment, and now I'm just like, whatever, it's here. It's a Spearmint Championship. It exists.
Yeah.
But
it's a thing.
It's a bad thing. It's not a Stranger thing.
It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing.
It's just the thing. Hopefully not the 2011 thing. Street Profits yelled a lot. Ford, why were you yelling?
To get your attention and to hype the crowd, John.
Really?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably. You don't be hype man with, and here he's got the big dog and,
True, but I'm just saying, I don't know if they know what they're doing with the Street Profits, because he can NXT, and I don't know. I think this is a weird use of them. I don't know. Then we get Maria talking to Mike Kanellis. Mike Kanellis is gonna have a match with Zack Ryder. And Maria says, "I'll just go out there and fight him."
Yeah.
And then Mike says, "No, I'll fight him." And I said,
You said that Zack is gonna pin him in 10 seconds. So the second the bell rang, we counted. In exactly 10 seconds, Zack Ryder is beating Mike Kanellis.
I was joking, by the way.
Yeah, it was Long Island, I guess, from what they were saying.
That's true, Uniondale. I'm not that familiar with New York, so why the fuck would I want to go there? Sorry to my friends in New York.
No
You're
wonder.
awesome,
Yeah. No wonder Zack Ryder won that.
Yeah, and then Maria's yelling at Mike. This storyline is doing nothing for Mike.
It's
shit. I'm sorry. This may actually be replacing. I think this might actually be replacing the whole Rhonda thing. What does she expect me to do? Cut off my hair and wash her feet with it? No. Maybe next time I'll ask Becky to impregnate me. I'm glad that Mike is.
Whatever floats your goat, I suppose. But
I would watch Becky try to do that with Maria. I'd watch a lot anyway. But
Maria.
I don't like this.
No.
I'm glad that Mike and Maria, if they're financially secure, they're happy with the 5-year deals they apparently signed, fine. This is not how you use somebody. He can be a fine mid-card act. Can he be a main event? No. But can he be a mid-card act? Yes.
Was he better on 205 Live? Definitely yes.
He was better when he wasn't being used as opposed to this.
The plot, it's bad. Go do it again.
Yeah, it's like Salem's Lot, No, Poltergeist. You move the gravestones, but you never move the bodies. We may be coming up with the audio podcast idea at some point to do. Yeah. We're gonna hash out some
We're gonna
details.
have some further discussions about some of the goddamn fucking shit storm that, you know.
We may do it this. I don't know if we're gonna do it this
belies
weekend.
our every waking moment.
And here's the thing: Raw was a hit and miss show. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah.
There were some steps in the right direction, and then there was some shit. Like Lucha House Party, that I forget exist, and I like Grand Metal League, and I like Lince Dorado, and I like Kalisto Rey Mysterio .5, aka Kalisto. They faced the Club.
Yeah, and who do you think won?
Well, first Ricochet attacked Styles, and then we went to the commercial because the match had to be restarted. Chris, no wrestling during the commercial breaks. It's such good shit.
Not a DQ though.
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen.
Styles taps out Kalisto.
Alright then.
Yeah. I know, building the club is fine, but just the Lucha... When was the Lucha House Party meant anything?
When they were beating the Revival week after week.
Lucha House Party rules, Chris.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's
everyone's favorite.
It's such good shit. So then we get recaps of Bray and Balor, and I couldn't stop laughing because it's so stupid.
Anyway.
We then get Alexa versus Natty versus Naomi. Alexa versus Natty versus Naomi versus Carmella. Yeah. Elimination, #1 contenders match, Becky at ringside. Whoever wins gets to face this. Now let's go through an elimination first and then let's get to the match. The crowd already was, I'm sorry, this was a shit crowd.
Oh,
but Alexa eliminates Carmella quickly so Corey can get back to his side hoe there. And it, fucking care. Then it went on a while, there were no eliminations. The crowd started chanting, "This is awful."
You're wrong, good sirs and or madams and people of unspecified gender. You're wrong.
I understand that this match is kind of thrown together and they were trying to give somebody fresh a chance to face Becky. I mean, we didn't need Alexa to do that, but anyway, you get my point. So you want longer women's matches and then you shit on what the women are doing. I'm not Carmella's biggest fan. Carmella does not belong in the ring. I'm sorry, she doesn't.
She's good mid-carder, at best.
She's low card. I mean, she's like a lot of people from Jersey. So, anyway. Sorry, Kier, not you. You're cool. But Alexa, who's not that great in the ring, but at least has character presence, she was getting visibly pissed. Mm-hmm. And you can't blame her. I felt bad for Natty. I felt bad for Naomi. Yeah. And I'm not even Alexa's biggest fan. I felt bad for her.
Nikki tried to work the crowd a bit, but the crowd had already turned against this match for some goddamn reason that I still have yet to grasp.
They were chanting, "This is awful."
They were chanting, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks."
I think even a CM Punk chant might have broke out.
Yeah. Like, why?
I admit this match wasn't great.
But it wasn't bad.
I mean, sorry, you're going to pop... You're going to say yowie wowie and be a bunch of goddamn idiots, you goddamn morons, but you're going to boo.
See what that is.
The fact...
You know, fucking just call me an idiot, huh?
What? You weren't in the live crowd!
I'm a fan of Bray.
Yes, were you part of the live crowd that was saying yowie wowie and that... Right, you weren't saying anything about the... I know. This...
Yeah, it was...
I did not like this.
The crowd was...
That was disrespectful. Now, Naomi eliminated by Natty, and then Alexa got booed. Alexa was pissed. Nikki was trying to rile the crowd up, which unfortunately only made it worse. And that's not Nikki's fault.
Yeah.
But they had Natty taps Alexa.
Yes, after Alexa had accidentally knocked out Nikki.
And then we get Natty and Becky trading barbs. If we can get a slightly heel Natty here...
Or a slightly healed Becky.
I mean, both slightly heels.
Yeah.
This, I like the stuff they had. Look, I know Natty's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people feel they should focus on the younger ones. Could they put Dana in this match? Sure. They might actually have been better off putting Dana in here instead of Carmella, unless Dana was injured or something, or they just didn't feel Dana was ready. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to give Dana a chance. Sarah Logan. Mm-hmm. But, okay, they worked with what they had. And it was disrespectful what the fans did. Yeah. And you guys are idiots.
Yeah, that was bad. And then we get to what, Miz TV?
Miz TV was Ziggler.
Okay, so, if I may.
Go ahead.
Ziggler. Why are we calling Miz a company man? Like, yeah, sure, he was a company man. That would have been a good argument. A good point. 6 months ago. But what has happened since then? Miz has been fighting with whom every single month? Shane McMahon and his authority. Does that sound like a company yes man? No. No, it does not.
Yes. Yes.
No.
I know.
Like, Piggly Wiggly Ziggly, if I may call you Piggly Wiggly Ziggly.
Hashtag.
Hashtag Piggly Wiggly Ziggly. If you're gonna make a salient point, you gotta have to make a salient point. Like, calling him a company yes man is not applicable with the current iteration of The Miz, who has been fighting the company.
Yeah. And then they realized the scene was dying, and then Ziggler mentioned Miz's wife, and they start brawling.
Yeah.
This feud was good in 2016. It did not need to be reignited.
The Miz and Ziggler feud of 2016 was great.
That was great shit.
That was Ziggler's shining moment.
His last shining moment. This wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but I'm over Ziggler.
Yeah. And then after that, we get to everyone's favorite segment. John, especially, he loved this moment. Was the 24/7 segment where Drake Maverick apparently had studied Shawn Michaels a little too closely.
Would have rather been on the set of Hostel.
But anyway, he, in his attempt to consummate his marriage in a very awkward segment that really didn't belong in 2019, the referee posed as room service, bringing in the cart, and of course,
Champagne.
R-Truth is under said cart. So as Drake is trying to figure out where R-Truth is hiding, R-Truth comes out from underneath the cart, goes to roll him up, kicks out at 2. Drake goes to hop on his bed to try and get away from R-Truth. R-Truth rolls him up and pins him on the bed. That sounded better in my head, and it rhymed.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Right. And Truth pins him, gains 24/7 title, and Drake has yet to consummate his marriage. Because WWE just won't let the poor guy fuck.
Okay, now I will say one thing. There was a line that Corey Graves said, well, that was great use of the small package. Cole could not stop. Renee, almost collapsed laughing. We popped, and that was pretty funny. That's like the one funny line that Corey said all year.
Yeah. Okay.
I hated this. Yeah, I know. I hate it.
Yeah.
You want the Attitude Era back? You guys are fucking idiots for wanting the Attitude Era back. Leave it in the past. Go to the future. I give Drake and Truth credit, but this was not very good.
Right.
So, we then get Rollins, Zayn, Big E, Lashley, Ray, Corbin, Reigns, Orton, Braun, Cesaro. 10-man brand crisscross jump brand.
Crisscross applesauce battle brand royale! With cheese!
I like that. One, they hate Cesaro. They really hate Cesaro because he got eliminated quickly. Same with Lashley. Lashley, I think, is going to leave soon.
Who was eliminated first?
It was Cesaro or Lashley. I think it was Cesaro. Then Lashley. And then Big E got eliminated. Because Orton hit some RKOs because he came.
From out of nowhere.
And of course, Orton immediately targeted the black guy. And then Zayn got eliminated because Orton also hates Syrian people. Ray got eliminated. Cesaro tried to toss him over.
He got shot further than a ray gun.
It's like laser blast. And then Reigns and Braun are trying the Benoit Big Show, 2004 Royal Rumble thing where he tries to inch him over the ropes. Mm-hmm. And that's where Benoit got his hanging technique from.
And think they both went over the rope?
They did because Rollins shoved him out.
Yeah.
But Orton went through the ropes originally. So Orton and Rollins battling out because 2015 never left us. And then, so Rollins wins. Lesnar and Heyman are sitting at the ramp, by the way. Heyman looks like a cane toad that got run over in Australia. Seriously.
I've never seen him wear a mask.
You had to do that.
I did.
You did.
Or that joke would croak.
Just be towed away.
Anyway.
Rollins wins. SummerSlam is turning out to be rematches. And rematches for the sake of rematches isn't.
We only have one rematch set up, don't we?
We're getting Ricochet versus Styles. I got a feeling.
That tonight's gonna be a good night?
That tonight's gonna be a good night. Right. I wanted...
2 rematches is not a rematch night.
But for the biggest party of the summer. Biggest party
Someone give me the green light.
Because I'm ready.
Stop.
Yes. B-.
Yeah, B minus. Overall, despite our complaints and the crowd being absolute shitheads.
Yeah, you guys are idiots.
Overall, this wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a great show. It was almost a C+. Like, a few things bumped us here and there.
I wanted to really hate. I wanted to downgrade it for the 24/7 stuff, and for the crowd.
Yeah.
The fans that were not cheering that stuff.
But we're not going to downgrade the show for the crowd.
The fans that were not cheering that stuff and were trying to be respectful to women, hats off to you. Those who were being disrespectful, you deserve to be slapped with a brick.
But before you go, be a friend and vote on my poll.
Be a friend to your poll.
Be a friend to my poll. Anyway, yeah. This has been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I am not John Ritlin. I am the Durbinator. Like, dislike, subscribe, share this around. Let us know what you think down in the comments down below. But you have a great night.